Hello and welcome to the Blue Room live blog. This is a live forum where 25 Perth theatre artists have been invited to share their view on live arts and theatre in Perth. Tonight's blogger is Thomas Papathanassiou.
Well done. Hi. Thank you so much for the introduction, Ren, and thank you to the Blue Room and Jancis for the invitation to speak. I've got to be honest, when Jancis first asked me, I had no real idea if anything I had to say would be relevant, or if it was, if I just didn't know. But I think over the last couple of weeks and watching the last few blogs, it's got me thinking a lot. And I have rewritten my notes about 8 times, including 4 times today. So if I stray, it's because other drafts are coming in, so just bear with me. Okay, so I've been thinking heaps a lot about the Perth arts industry, and thinking about previous conversations I've had with peers and with the general public. I guess I'm a bit of an insider and an outsider to the industry here. I enjoy being based here, and when working on various projects with various companies and artists, mostly on a cooperative level, but a lot of my work also takes me interstate, and more recently I've been heading overseas, most recently to Singapore, which is exciting to start exploring those opportunities. So in a way I'm a participant and an observer, so when I'm away I really do think about what's happening here, because I compare it to what's happening in other places, and I think there are some great things happening here, and there's also a lot of room for improvement. So let's have a chat about that. There's always so much to say in so little time, so I'm going to speak fast and jump notes if I need to. So I'm going to raise a few questions today and maybe set up a challenge right at the end, so keep up with me. So, who am I, firstly? Well, to be brief, I'm a freelancer in the industry. I freelance as an actor, a theatre maker, writer, director, dancer, dramaturg and drama tutor, and I work on productions ranging from classics to musicals to hybrid arts to physical theatre. Why so many hats? Well, I guess when I was training I realised that it might be a good idea to multi-skill, because I knew it was going to be a tough industry, and I just wanted to survive. And this concept of survival has been plaguing me for the last 15 or so years that I've been sort of working in and out of the industry. And I'm surviving, but I'm surviving. And I constantly reassess why I'm in this madness, but I'm here and I want to make it work. So, let's get to work. I want to talk about the survival of myself as an artist, and also the survival of myself as an artist in Perth and Perth industry in general. So I'll start from with the last few blogs. My esteemed peers before me have brought up some of the highlights of the good, the bad and the unresolved dilemmas that happen here in the Perth arts industry, and how we can make it work and how it doesn't work. How do we lead artistic lives in Perth, the most isolated capital city in the world? Well, my survival, this is what I've done. I generate most of my own work, or with friends. I would be very naive to think that a city with 3 main theatre companies who are working at various levels of development and vision will have enough work for me throughout the year. Not with so many other good actors in town, and also a handful of plays each season to find roles in, if there are any roles at all. So I look to smaller organisations such as the Blue Room, and increasingly to collaborations and partnerships outside of Perth. Our isolation has its advantages and also its disadvantages, but we must find ways to make this work for us. Touring is expensive, so therefore I feel that if I can't always take my work with me, I will collaborate in another city with another group of artists. It's the only way I could actually make that sort of, to keep my artistic life going. In saying that, I do realise that it's easier for me. I'm a single guy with no commitments, so it is easy. And I don't mean to disrespect anyone who is in another kind of life of phase. You know what I mean? Okay, I recently took my solo show, Looming the Memory, to Singapore on an invitation to be part of the Singapore Fringe Festival. I had a fantastic time. Despite my nervousness, the show was enthusiastically received and highly praised. I took the opportunity to meet with the company there about a future collaboration. They are interested. Hooray. I definitely believe that an untapped market lies above us in the Southeast Asian region. Why aren't we, of all cities in Australia, including Darwin, taking advantage of this proximity? I just don't understand it. They do speak English and they speak it very well, and they really want our product. So let's open those doors. Let's talk to them. If I can do it, I'm sure an organisation or a company can. And can't this be an incentive for funding somewhere? Possibly. Let's keep those ears open. I've also been collaborating on a project for 3 years in Melbourne. A lot of my travelling has been back and forth from there over the last few years to be involved in many developments. And at times it's been tough, but it's paid off. Our world premiere takes place at the Victorian Arts Centre in April, and a couple of weeks after that, I have been invited to perform Looming the Memory at the famous La Mama Theatre in Melbourne also, which is great. I'm really looking forward to getting back there and performing the show. I'm currently in negotiations with the Darwin Festival for August, and it's looking very, very positive. Beyond that, I have no idea, such is the life of a freelance artist. So despite not having a company, having limited reliance on funding, and I am grateful for the funding I have received, and I have no administrative support, I think I'm doing okay, only because I'm looking beyond what we have here. And I do love it here, don't get me wrong, but to survive, I need to look out further. It's the only way. So, here's a suggestion. Crazy, I know. But perhaps is there some kind of initiative that can be set up for independent artists or companies whereby, sort of following the ABAF model, where they do, if they partner up with another company, whether it's here, interstate or overseas, that what they invest can be matched by a governing body or a philanthropic organisation. Therefore, it puts more pressure onto that company or the artist to produce better work, because if it fails, of course, or not fail, but if it doesn't go as well, some of their investment does get lost. And look, I hate saying that, artists sometimes have to invest in their own projects, but it's the only way we can sort of move forward. We can't wait around for rounds of funding all the time. We've got to make a move on. Right, get moving with these things. So that's me. There's another idea I've got as well. With this, is there some kind of shared infrastructure where independent artists, and I know I suffer from it quite a bit, or small companies can share office space or rehearsal space on a rotation basis, as they have in Melbourne, which is like the arts incubator. Somewhere where we can all share, we can meet somewhere, ideas can be swapped, we can use facilities, and we can take pressure off ourselves in terms of administration in a way. I'm just being very random here with my thoughts, so thank you for keeping up. All right, let's look at some other topics that have come up in these other blogs. How am I doing time-wise? Okay, excellent. Arts funding. It's hard. This one's a hard one. Someone's got to do it, and I don't envy them in that position that they're in. It's complex, it's confusing, and it sometimes seems increasingly evasive, and the round's getting smaller and smaller in amounts. I feel that sometimes there might need to be a more rigorous approach to the way the applications are dealt with, as I do believe that a strong application does not necessarily equate to good entertainment and vice versa. So I'm not sure how that's dealt with, but it's just a thought. Thank you. I also agree with Jeff about Jeff Dawson and his blog about, we have all these forums. Let's see where these ideas go to. I know that things are still being worked out at the moment, but I'd be pretty disappointed if our views aren't put forward and thought about seriously and then actually taken notice of in terms of producing policy. But I also applaud Melanie, who spoke yesterday about the success of her arts enterprise, as she doesn't rely on the funding at all. And what she's done is my next point. Let's talk about the power of entertainment. Sugar Cube Burlesque has provided a business which produces popular product, and I took a risk, and it provides an old dance form in a new package, and people have embraced it because it's fun and it's entertaining. Have we forgotten that one of the primary reasons that we do what we do is because audience need to come and see and buy our product? I don't know. I fear that sometimes we don't listen to them as much, what they are after. We can't compete against music and sport, or can we? Do these two entertainment forms, yes, sport is entertainment, succeed because they give people what they want? It's just things to think about. I read recently in the West Australian that Cirque du Soleil and Phantom of the Opera are selling unexpectedly well. And with that, I'm thinking, well, the tickets are expensive. They're very big shows, but people are flocking to them. Is it because times are tough, people want to be entertained and not think about too much? We have to keep that in mind. Ultimately, we need to entertain our audiences, and I don't think we're doing that enough. And I applaud innovation. I love new work. It's something I studied in. But sometimes we can disappear up our own because we are trying to be too clever. Let's not forget who's actually watching our shows. I've got heaps of other notes. I'm so sorry I can't get to them. But come and find me and I can speak to you more about them some other time. Thank you for your time.